Okay, so what we're going to talk about today is using those colored pencils in a way that you should be using them in 7th grade. Judging by your sketchbooks, I'm going to say that this is an important thing that we go over before you touch the frame of your project, because I want to see the best coloring you've ever done in your life, not I want this done in 5 seconds so I can play games, right? Because that's not the appropriate thing to do in class. So you're going to be using colored pencil once you transferred your designs to your metal. It's supposed to continue like they never stopped. And now we're going to be creating that implied texture. So we made the real texture on the metal. Now we're making implied texture. So we want to look at it and see that that should feel a certain way, okay? And we're going to use colored pencil. So I'm going to show you the correct ways to use those tools. Let me switch to the camera. All right. So the first thing I want you to do, we're going to focus on this here. Draw 3 little boxes somewhere on your paper with pencil. You can use a regular pencil to draw your 3 boxes right now. So if I switch here, I'll just back out and I'm going to go to a new page. Okay, so I'm on a blank page and I'm going to draw 1, 2. I don't care what size they are. Of course it did. You just need 3 boxes. All right. So then I want you to pick a color. So you're going to pick a color. And we're going to practice the different levels of craftsmanship for coloring. So we're going to do the very worst coloring we could do, and then we're going to do the very best coloring we can do. And you're going to do it along with me, all right? So I'm going to zoom in here. All right, so we're going to start at the top, and we're going to do the very worst coloring we can do, which a lot of you guys seem to think is appropriate for your sketchbook, which is this. Oh, look, I scribbled. I'm done. That's your first box. This is bad. Yeah, this is bad. Right next to your box, you can write, this is bad. It's bad. It's not great. That would be a lie. No, nobody needs to feel better about this kind of coloring. If you do this, you should feel bad. All right, the next box. In the next box, we're going to color the way you're used to in straight lines. But I want you to fill the whole box in, coloring in the same direction. You should see none of the paper through your colored pencil. Yeah, you can do different colors. This one's okay. All right, so coloring this way is just okay because it's difficult to always color the same direction, and it's hard to fill big spaces this way. Do you agree? If you have to color a whole sky, is this the easiest way to do it? No, because it ends up looking like bad. All right, you start here, great intentions, but you get here somehow, and I don't really know what happens. But I'm going to show you another way to use your pencil to color a space, and then you don't have this problem, okay? So one of the best ways to use a colored pencil is to color in very small circular motions, okay? It takes more time, yes, okay, but it looks better. So I'm just going to color in very small, little tiny circles, little baby circles. And sometimes I'm coloring over the same area so I can fill in the little gaps that it makes. But I can fill in a whole area without having the messy lines of my colored pencil going in different directions in straight lines, because that just looks bad. Another thing that I'm doing is that I have my pencil tilted so that I'm not just using the very tip of it like a pencil. When you're coloring or shading, you don't want to draw like you're drawing with a pencil. You want to kind of tilt your pencil and use the edge of it. All right, so I'm going to zoom out because we're going to write next to these so we remember. All right, so let's go back here. All right, so this first one, this isn't done, okay? This is incomplete. All right, this is incomplete. The color does not cover the whole space. That's bad. That's coloring like you're 5. I have a 7-year-old who can do better. All right, I know that you can do better. This one loses you points on the rubric every time. The middle one, this one's good. But it's hard to do in big spaces. It's hard to do in big spaces. And the last one, coloring in small circles is best. All right, below that, I'm going to zoom out. Somewhere on your paper below that, I want you to draw a stripe. I don't care what direction it's going. It's 2 lines. Forks? No. We're going to create the illusion of form. Form means it's 3D. How to create the illusion of form. Because we're going to color inside of them. Well, you do that then. All right, so for this one, we're going to use the middle box. It's okay, but usually you're going to be doing this in small spaces, and it's a little easier that way. But you can use the bottom yay box, all right? Yes. I'm just making up my own scale here. It goes from bad to yay. This one we would call spicy. Yeah. All right, so I'm going to be coloring inside of those 2 lines, all right? And what I'm going to do is where my color is closest to the line, it is going to be darker. And as I get closer to the middle, I'm going to gently lift up my pencil so my coloring is lighter and lighter until I stop. Then I'm going to repeat on the other side. So watch before you try it. But I'm going to start on the line. I'm pressing hard. And as I go towards the center, I'm going to gently press lighter and lighter, and it's going to go until I stop. And then I'm going to repeat it on this side. Okay? And I'm going to repeat that all the way down my line, trying to make it match. Yeah, but that doesn't really make sense, like if you're trying to make this whole thing like it's bending. Bending. So we're using the pressure of how hard we color with this pencil to make the color look lighter or darker. And it's going to make it look like this is like a straw or something that's bending forward. All right, so do you see why if you were coloring bad, this would not work? Okay, if you're coloring okay, it does really good. It's a little bit harder to do coloring yay or spicy, but you could still do it that way. If you do color in the middle, it's very light. Are you being Dora? She's the most annoying cartoon character of all time. Prove me wrong. Okay, once you've done this, down here, I want you to draw two shapes. Well, they're actually forms. You're going to draw a circle. And then you're going to draw a cube. Yes. Actually, I don't like where that one is. I'm going to erase it and redraw it. No. I just keep my pencil going in a circular motion until I have one I like. All right, so we have a circle and a cube. And this is the only time you will ever be allowed to draw a corner sun. Yes, you may draw a corner sun. This is the only time I'll ever say, hey, draw a corner sun. I don't think so. It's a corner sun. Yes, the infamous, oh so famous corner sun. Oh so famous. All right, so we're going to learn how to shade or color forms with our colored pencils. But before I show you how to do this, there's a vocabulary word I need you to know. And that word is analogous. This means next to each other on the color wheel. Analogous. Say it right.
Analogous.
Yeah. Analogous. Next to each other on the color wheel. Next to each other on the color wheel. So if I'm talking about analogous colors, I'm talking about a color wheel. This is a color wheel. This is a color wheel right here. The eyes up here, please. This is how we can look at colors and know like what they mix and make. So like if yellow and red are here, the color between them is what they make, which is orange. Analogous colors are next to each other. So yellow and green would be an analogous color, or blue and purple, or purple and red, or red and orange. Do you see where I'm going with this? Okay. Analogous colors look really nice together when shading. They really help to create really good values, all right, when you're using color. If you were using just a regular pencil, you would just press harder, okay? And you can do that with colored pencil, but if you really want to push the value to make it look really cool, analogous colors are a really good trick, okay? So that is a vocabulary word that I want you to know the meaning of. Analogous is next to each other on a color wheel. So if I ask you what two analogous colors are, you need to be able to look at a color wheel and tell me. All right, I'm going to go back to the camera now. Okay, so I want you to pick two analogous colors from your colored pencils. Here, I'll put the color wheel back up. Pick two analogous colors, please. They're next to each other on the color wheel. So you could be picking like yellow and orange or orange and red. You could be picking blue and green. You could be picking blue and purple, purple and red. All right. Whatever two colors you pick, I want you to start working with whichever one is lighter. Lighter. Green is lighter than blue. Red is lighter than purple. Orange would be lighter than red. All right, so look at them, and whichever one's lighter, that's what you're going to start with. All right, so stop drumming with the pencils and listen, please. When you're coloring a form, you did not just color straight lines, okay? That's where even the one that says okay is not okay anymore, all right? When we color forms, we want to follow the form. That means the lines you're coloring need to match whatever form you are coloring. So if you are coloring a circle, you should be coloring in what? Circles, okay? Circles have one spot that you're not going to color. It's called the highlight. And you see my little corner sun? My highlight is going to be on this part of the circle that is closest to that. So I'm going to kind of very lightly draw in the shape of my highlight with my colored pencil. It's very light. Yes, with your light one. The one on the right, I think. I can't see from here. Yeah, the one on the right, on my right, your left. Yeah. All right, so look, if my light is coming from up here, and this is the lightest part of my sphere, because that is the form of a circle, a sphere, which part is going to be the darkest? The farthest away from the light, aka the bottom, okay? When I shade things or color things, I start in the areas that are the darkest. That doesn't mean I start coloring super dark right away, but that's where I start adding color because it is so much easier, especially with these, to add more color than it is to take it away. You can erase a little bit, but you can never fully get rid of it, all right? So always start wherever it's going to be darker. And I'm going to be coloring in my small circles, and I'm going to start coloring this edge here, and this is going to be the darkest. Yeah, we're using the lighter of your two colors. We're not going to do the darker one until we've pretty much colored this whole thing. So I'm starting just on half of this circle. I'm going to go from here to about there. So about half, coloring, following the form, adding value, and it's going to get lighter as I go up the form. What is the easiest way to make something darker with colored pencil? That's one way. What's another way? Color over top of it again. So as I keep adding this, I'm trying to make it get lighter, and I'm going further up the circle. And this process is going to be, it's going to take you time. It's not something you're going to get done with very quickly. If you are done very quickly, you probably did something wrong. So you can see as I go back over these areas that I've already colored, it gets darker. And at no point am I going to be coloring in straight lines. Even if I stop coloring in circles, my lines are still curved because I'm following the form. You should never, 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 never use straight lines when coloring a circle or a sphere. Who is trying to sound like a car alarm right now? None of that. You guys do know that means stop, right? Yeah, we're just using this one color for now. And as I go, I want it to get lighter and I can go back over areas I've already colored to add more pencil. And I'm going to stop once I get to that circle I drew for my highlight. Excuse you. So what you're doing right now is like your base coat if you were painting something. Yes, we're gonna do more. Probably not today. Do you have any idea how many spheres I've shaded? All right, so this is the magic part where once you have your base coat and you like it, then you can take your other color and you can use it in the darkest places and color over top, and it will really change that value. So I'm using the first color for my base coat, and then I can go back in with my other color to really hit those shadows. It shouldn't look like lines, like there's a really dark line and then there's a medium line. It should look like it's all fading together. Yes. Yes. All right, there's one last thing we need to do. Hold on, before you clean up, you need to give it a shadow. The shadow is going to be like a stretched out version of whatever it is. So in this case, it would be like an oval kind of coming off of here. So it has to have a shadow. And that should be the darkest thing you color. Now I am on the shadow. Because it's not a circle. Okay? You can clean up. We'll do the cube tomorrow, and then you'll be able to work on your metal. It's not going to get too dry. Calm down.